programming from two very special band leaders, and Keith Klein is with them now.
Well, first of all, I got to ask the question, who was that student in that last piece we saw there? He looked a little gray.
Listen, it was the piece that got me gray. I'll tell you. I hope you enjoyed it, because that's the last time I'm playing Harry James Carnival Venice in public. That's it. We'll put that one to rest.
Call and tape now, because you may have the end of an era right here tonight. Dave Baker, Dominic Spera, the directors of these two big bands. You're going to see more. There's more coming up. Dave, as I travel around and you tell people you're from IU, I've had some youngsters that I've encountered out, especially with high school bands. They say, oh, yeah, I want to go there and be one of those bands. How does a youngster get in one of the bands?
Well, it's qualitative audition. The bands are open to anybody who's in the university, any student, whether he's in music school or not, even though it's rare that somebody outside the music school does get in. But we have qualitative auditions the first week of school.
Now, Dom, the kind of people that play here, not everybody stays in music the rest of their life, but what are some of the success stories? How about some of the people that have been in these bands?
Well, one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to the new big band tape go on the air is because when we recorded the first one, we keep losing people to the big bands. I lost 2 trumpet players a week before we videotaped that first show to Buddy Rich, and he loses people all the time that go out on the road.
During the semester?
Oh yeah, they get jobs, and you know, the thing is, that's what we're training them for. If they get a break, a chance to put a good credential, you know, in their credits, we say, hey, we'll be here, you know, come on back, and they usually do end up. How about your trombone player? What's his name? That was in Vegas for a top player. John Veselak, top player in Vegas for 11 years. But top writer. He's back in Bill's band. Yeah.
Well, we see him, you know, everybody from the Peter Erskines to the Brecker brothers to Jim Beard. All these youngsters, you know, are competitive. When they leave here, they're prepared to do whatever's necessary to make it in the world of commercial music.
I need to pause here because it's you folks out there that have helped make this possible. Now, of course, they're still going to do the spring concert, whether we're there or not, but it was your contributions that helped get us there to get this on tape. The previous band show, this is a world premiere here tonight of this one, but the previous one, we sent out, and public television stations all over the country have used the program, and you guys get letters all the time, right? They're still using it.
This many years, yeah.
Are there some special moments? What are the great things that happen being a teacher and having these kinds of people?
Well, for me, I just finished conducting the Washington State All-State Jazz Band. And I conducted a student that was a student of a former trumpet student of mine in Eau Claire when he was 15 years old. In other words, I had his teacher when he was 15. And all of a sudden, I'm teaching his student.
Yeah.
And that's the marvelous thing about it, that your students go out and produce marvelous musicians and teach and keep the thing going. And that's, for me, that's the biggest.
And you can see it echoed, you know, 100 times over, for instance, like one of the students who was in the first bands here in '68, a guy named Dick Griffin. Now his son is back playing in my band.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you feel old, does it?
No, because I was only 4 years old when I came.
It's got to be great to be able to do that. And the interesting, is it unique to teachers of music that you both professionally still play?
No, well, it might be, but I think more and more, particularly in the jazz area, students want to see their teachers do what it is they're telling them to do. So we have no choice but to stay abreast of what we do as players.
So, like the football coach may not have to go out and make a touchdown, but the band teacher better be able to do what you're telling them to do?
Ours is a little less physical than theirs.
Yeah.
Maybe, if you're a trumpet player, maybe it's not less physical.
I was just going to say, the time's coming.
Well, Mickey has given me a list here, and see if I can do this. Doodle Oodle, did I do that right, is coming up. Maybe not in this order. Cottontail, The Peanut Vendor, We'll Get On, I can hardly read this.
We'll Get It.
We'll Get It, I'm sorry. And Caledonia, and then I love Benny Goodman's Sing, Sing, Sing. That's going to be in there. That's going to cap it all off, but we want you guys to stay around.
Too.
And you guys are talking as you see this. This is kind of neat. Good stuff. Let's go back to it because it's really a pleasure for us to be able to present the Indiana University Department of Bands, Dave Baker, Dominic Spera's bands on WTIU Channel 30 in Bloomington, Indiana. Well, and those two are Dave Baker and Dominic Spera, and it is a great show, and it's got to be really pleasurable for you to see these youngsters come that far. And, I say youngsters like these are, 10 and 11-year-old kids. These are quite accomplished musicians.
Yes, they are, and the older we get, the longer we teach. I have to be very careful when I said, hey, the kids played good today. I said, wait a minute, they're not kids. They're 20 years and older, so young.
Anybody younger than you is a kid.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't call you a kid.
Oh, thanks, Tom. Dave, when you sit down and plan these things, what kinds of things do you try to do? What do you try to showcase? How do you determine what to put into a concert like this?
Well, I think one of the things we always try to think about is to represent the major figures from the period, and then try to, across as many years as we've been doing it, try to keep the thing fresh. There are some things that are war horses that have to be done, but we're constantly searching. In fact, as we've been talking about what's on that cassette, to try to constantly find things that were popular that would perhaps not been played. For instance, there's one concept that we did when we put some things together for New World Records, and that is hits that never were, by looking at what's on the second side of the major pieces. For instance, like something like In the Mood. Look to see what's on the other side of that record. And we're constantly trying to search to find out things that give the kids a solid educational experience, but will be fun to listen to.
Well, since you mentioned the record, and it's sitting here, and Derek and Mickey have a picture of it, I'm going to mention this. This is a $120 level. It's Memory Lane. Comes 4 records or 2 cassettes. Got great stuff on it. You were looking there saying, we have a little bit in the background, but you guys were saying, hey, there's a couple of things out there you might be interested in using. Dave, as we listen to some of the music in the background from Memory Lane, and some people have said that this whole era, the big band era, was just going to die, that it wasn't going to be kept on. And every time I see your kids in these concerts and I see what you guys are doing, it can't die. I mean, these kids are going to keep this alive. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're absolutely right. It's a timeless music, and I think that as we see more and more repertory orchestras at the professional level, as well as, the resurgence of books. There's got the Schuler's book now called The Swing Era, with 1,000 pages of book, and a new book by James Lincoln Collier on Benny Goodman. No, this period is safe forever.
I think it exists, it lives because of the quality that's in the music. We're not keepers of the art form. I mean, if Indiana University should sink into the muck and mire of the earth, big band music will go skipping along, so will the classics. What we work within the parameters, and are very fortunate to have this quality music to work with. But it lives because it's quality, because there's something in it, there's a humanistic quality about it that everybody can relate to, no matter what the age is.
I don't know what the answer to this is going to be, but you guys, I suspect, value other kinds of music too.
Oh, you have to. Yes.
So that you don't want somebody that just wants big band or jazz.
No, that couldn't happen here. That's the beautiful thing about being at Indiana University for these youngsters, is that they really do have to be well-versed in all kinds of music and have a healthy appreciation. Of course, they're going to have preferences, but the very fact that they're exposed to all of it, and then they can make informed choices.
I think it's marvelous. I can't thank you guys enough for letting us be a part of this, WTIU, and for what you do, because I just get such a big kick out of watching this, seeing it, being there, seeing it happen, knowing what an event it is. Let's mention the date again. When do tickets go on sale?
I have absolutely no notion, but I would imagine for 2 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks ahead. What's the charge? Do you know yet?
I don't know.
See, you guys are directors. You don't deal with that administrative
It'll
stuff.
probably be the same as it was last year.
And boy, get the tickets early. What was, you don't know that either. Get the tickets early, because this thing is always sold out. It's always standing room only, and I just don't know any place you can go and see this kind of thing. It's that good.
It's rare.
Thank you both, and thanks to both of your bands. They do a lot for this university and do a lot to make people like me feel even more proud to be here. Thank you. Let's go back and see the final part of the sounds of the big bands as we tell you you're watching WTIU Channel 30 in Bloomington, Indiana. Call the number 855-2102 and make that pledge.